Hey, how's it going? Jacobi back in here with day 3 on the coronavirus out here in the West Coast reporting. And we're going to cover the subject of fear. What we're going to say here about fear is that it activates the limbic system, the hindbrain, the reptilian membrane. And so, what fear does is that triggers the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight, which is the lower chakras, chakra 1 and 2, survival. And so when we make decisions out of fear, we're only accessing the lower IQ. We're only accessing a narrow band of perception. And this limited perception, we're not able to be clear with our mental process, and we will therefore make decisions and have emotional energies occur that are imbalanced and will then lead to situations and energies that we wouldn't prefer. So what we're being educated here is that how to master our mind on these levels, how to feel the fear, how to honor the fear. It's not good or bad, it's just an emotion. It's just one emotion that we can have. And so, through this experience of the biological imperative, it influences those aspects of ourself that are in the survival state of fight or flight. And so, the best way to deal with fear is to honor it and not call it as a negative thing, more like embrace it and observe it and see where you're feeling that sensation, what it's creating, what thoughts are being created in your head. And instead of reacting or acting too quickly upon something, just take your time to breathe and center and come to a state of equilibrium with that fear, and realizing that that fear is actually there to educate us about something about ourselves. It's there to reinforce how we're going to stabilize our mind, how we're going to stabilize our emotions, and how we can approach any situation from a non-fear based energy, which will then be transcendent of the lower chakras. We'll be pulling that energy up and activating the third chakra more with a conscious choice of will, to where we're consciously integrating all the options we have, and we move from a clear, more centered position in our life. And a lot of other things that are being educated here is that whatever is occurring in our mind and whatever is occurring on the picture screen of the world, which is the picture screen of our mind, we must learn how to have discernment upon all this information that is being bludgeoned upon us, all this media that is telling us all these things that are supposedly happening. A lot of them are happening, but how overblown are they? And when you look at any way that people are making movies, how much editing is involved? When was that movie made? I mean, how much trust do we have in just every single thing that's being thrown out there must be the truth? It must be, because it's mainstream media, it must be what is going on. Well, I'm saying discernment's a good thing. And honor the cinema screen, honor the movie that's being made. No, it's being made for a reason. But how I perceive that movie from that band of perception, it's really interesting, and a process of learning and growing to what lies outside of that band of perception, which requires me to be humble, which requires me to go outside of into the unknown of the spectrum that I'm looking at things, and to have humility and be like, maybe I have a limited perspective here, maybe I have a limited belief system in the way I'm approaching these things, and the way I'm observing these things, the way I'm reacting to these things, the way I'm feeling to these things. So without the judgment of judging myself or judging any of it going on, it's just happening. It's happening out there. It's happening in my mind. where I choose to log into it, where I choose to synchronize with it, that is going to influence my state of being. And that's going to influence what I call my belief system and what I call where I'm at with myself. So it's really interesting to honor that of recognizing where I'm at with myself without judgment. And then at that point, you bring in the conscious integration that now that I'm clear of where I'm at with myself and I'm not judging it, that maybe I have other options, and maybe there's something I'm not looking at as to why all this stuff is happening, and where I can operate at it, and where I can have humility and surrender and let go of those things that are creating that narrow band of perspective and perception. And then I can activate more, start touching in my midbrain and my pineal gland and other facets of the brain, that the frontal lobe. I can get more practical with it. I can get more practical with what's going on. I can come at it from that perspective. I can get more spiritual with what's going on. I can see in depth. I can see deeper into the movie screen. I can understand and see things that I wasn't looking at before, that could have been invisible before to me, because I was looking too much into what was visible and what was being pumped, is calling the truth, being pumped and called the truth, and being pumped and this is the way it is. I'm saying that now, yeah, there's definitely stuff going on. I'm not saying that this stuff ain't going on. I'm just saying that, like, this is an opportunity to really master your mind and master emotions like fear. And by embracing that fear, let it propel you into some courage, into some more practical observations, some more expansive observations, some more spiritual perspectives. This is a time where we can broaden our perspective, we can broaden our perceptions, and that requires us to go into the unknown, like the unknown of there's a transformation going on in the world. Well, the whole thing's in a constant state of transformation. If you look back through history, you look at where we're potentially going, it's all going to be transformation. Nothing's ever going to stay the same at those levels. When you're growing up, if we didn't grow up, we'd still be crawling around. But we evolve and we change and we transform, and we're here to learn and live and experience. So this is an opportunity to open our minds and open our hearts and see that maybe there's some potential lying in here to readjust, make some adjustments, to change a few things up, and to honor where we've been and honor where we're at with ourselves, but not let that influence us as to where we can be now and 1 second later, or we felt that, or an hour later, and where we can go, and how I can go into what appears to be unknown, which would then require me to expand and broaden my perspective and my perception range. So fear is actually a very useful tool if you don't get trapped into fear and you don't get conquered by the fear, because you can utilize that to jump out of the lower mind and to access a higher part of your IQ, and to not be caught up in the fight or flight and survival mode, which is we have more mastery over our grounding point and our root chakra. So it's just food for thought, and just reporting out here on another day from the whole coronavirus hype and the whole thing that's going on, and I'm not downplaying this at all. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely, we have to do a lot, and we have to activate and work on ourselves more. But hey, nothing stayed the same. We might as well enjoy the transformation. So I'm sending out many blessings and much love to the transformative energies, and know that herein lies an opportunity. Herein lies an opportunity to understand what's going on with yourself, understand where we're at, and how we can transform that and adjust that, and how we can influence the community and our local areas and global areas, national areas, state areas, into a way that could be more effective. And we'll see how it all pans out, but I'm excited, looking forward to how things are going to pan out after this. So much health and much love to you all, and may we optimize our health, and may we optimize our love, and may we optimize all these beautiful things. So we have this opportunity, and much love to you all, and many blessings.